I'm going to show you today how to draw 2 hibiscus flowers. So I'm going to use my pencil really light in case I want to erase my some of my lines, and also for my guidelines I don't want it to be too dark. First of all, I'm going to make a circle like this, and I'm going to find the middle, kind of like that. And then I am going to come, and I'm going to not make a straight line, I'm going to curve it a little bit, and a little like that, and I'm going to go around. And I'm going to make sure that my edges are a little uneven. When you have a little gap like that, you want to go ahead and just erase that to fill it in. And you want to add a little stem, and I apologize for my dog barking, in the middle. You want to definitely go with a point. And you may want to add just a few lines like that. Okay, so that could, this is your hibiscus flower number 1. Then I also want to add some leaves. Maybe another one over here. Then I want to add another one over here. So I'm not going to do the same round shape. I'm going to do an oval shape. That just helps me so I know kind of where to go, take my leaves up to the edges. So if I do like a really light circle shape or oval shape, it just helps my flower. Then I'm going to start with the first flower. So this flower is more of an angle, not straight from the top. I'm going to find my middle. If it's easier, you can go ahead and add your little stemon. I think it's called a stemon. I'm just going to go like that. And then I want to make like a smiley face. Make sure your smiley face is touching. And I want to come like this, and again uneven edges. And I want to start a little from the side, go like that, go to the middle, go a little bit more to the side. We want to make sure that your petals are nice and big. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I may want to give him a little stem. This one you cannot really see the stem. I am also going to go ahead and give him a few leaves that comes out this way. And then to balance it off, I'm going to give a few big leaves on this side. And maybe like a little skinny leaf like that. I don't want to go all the way to the edge. Don't want to do that. So I just want to go like that. So now it's a good thing to take your eraser and erase some of the lines you don't need. so it's a little easier to see what's happening. You can also make some of your lines a little lighter. I'm gonna let that go all the way, making some of my lines a little darker just so you can see. And now I am ready to paint this with watercolor. I like to use the tubes, so mine is in a little tube that I just squirt out to put in my paint palette. Okay, so now I am going to start with the flowers first. So some of them are more orangey pink, some of them are really bright pink. You can decide what color you want to make yours. I am going to do the orangey pink burgundy kind of color. So I mix the color I want, and I'm going to put down a lot of water. It kind of makes a little bubble on my page. Oh, my dog is barking. I apologize. I'm adding some orange, and while it is still wet, I'm going to let it flow. I'm adding more, and I'm pushing it out in kind of lines to give the idea of the lines that you can see on the petals. You may not really see it, but that's kind of the idea that we are going for. I'm making sure that I add a lot of dark areas close over here. And I'm leaving a few white spots. So instead of just going over and over and over, I'm going to leave a few white spots like that. Then I'm going to come to the one next to it. I want to make sure that I don't touch this one because it may flow. If you feel you don't have enough control, skip and go to this one. So to make sure that they don't touch. I'm going to go like this, kind of halfway. Coming back with the orange. And when they are touching, that is where they will flow. And blend. You can also only use water to help it a little bit. And I want to go close without really touching. If it touched by accident, it's totally fine. Then I'm going to come to this one. Using the burgundy close to the middle. And then coming with the orange from the other side. And then when they are touching, you can either just let it blend or use a little bit of water to help the process. And doing the same on this side. Close to the middle. Making sure there's enough water so everything flows. I like sometimes to paint with a little bit less water just so my colors stay really intense. So if you add more water, it's gonna dilute it a little bit. And I'm just mixing. So definitely a bubble helps for it to blend. And then the last one. I like to put my hand down to make sure that I can get a really nice line. I want to go close to those little lines without going inside. So I want to make sure that I can paint around them. Then I want to go in my orange. And dropping in water to let it move. Making sure that I go close to the middle. Maybe even add more paint so it can flow from there. And you can always move the paint. And you can always come and make sure your lines are nice and neat. We're going to move to the back one, and from the middle I'm going to paint towards the outside. Come back with orange from the outside. I like to paint this with a little bit less water, even though I like to drop it in, but to get my color really dark. Touch, 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 so it blends. Gonna do from the middle up. So it definitely works if you have more than one color that you can use to get this nice shading ombre effect. I can't really see my line, but it looks something like that. So like a hairline of between. drop in a color or some water so it can move. And again from the middle. And drop in a color. Some water, I mean. Don't do that. If this happens, just take your towel and soak it up. Making sure that I don't touch. And especially because you have this little bubble of water on top, you want to be careful not to let it touch because it will just flow and make one big blobs. I'm going to leave it like that. Then this bottom section should be dry enough for me to start painting the leaves. I like to mix a blue-green color to get like a teal. And I'm just going to do a lot dark where it's going close. And then I'm pulling it out. Maybe I will add some of the light green from the tip. I'm dropping on color close to it so it's darker there and then it becomes lighter towards the outside. And I play with a different one so I can get a different feel. But it needs to go dark to light. You can always add in a little bit more color. I'm also gonna go from this way. Go in light green. If you only have one kind of green, play around with mixing it with blue, with purple, with yellow. You can still make all kinds of greens mixing. I'm making this one a little bit bigger. The beauty if when you start painting, you can just make it bigger and add more. even though I use the same, I want to say, recipe of color, so you will get the same idea. I don't use a different kind of green, so I would use the same one. And then you just mix. Oh, this is so pretty. And add like a little bit of light green right there. Again, be careful not to let them touch too much, because then it will flow. Cleaning my brush, and I'm gonna come back from the light green, and I'm just adding and drop in some water to help you flow. So with watercolor, it's so fun to see the water actually do some of the work for you. You don't really have to paint a lot. If you think you have too much paint on, you can just take your brush and it will suck up a little bit. I'm gonna see if I want to add lines maybe later. I'm still deciding. And this stem, I'm gonna add a little bit of brown to my purple. For the stem. Now, by the time I'm done with this, the flower should be dry, so I can come back and add some yellow. I like to only use the tip of my brush to get a skinny line. I'm going to do a little purple brownish little dot just from the bottom, and because it's still wet, it's going to flow and it's going to give me a little like a shadow feel, just like that. You may want to touch to blend it a little bit more. So I want my middle to actually be a little darker. So I'm going to take my burgundy and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of purple. So purple is like my to-go-to shadow color. I like to mix it with it. And I want to get like a color kind of like dark like that. So again, it depends on what color combination you use, but you want to make it a little darker. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make these shapes, like triangle shapes coming from the middle. And then I'm going to come around and instead of painting, I'm basically touching that edge while pushing it back. So I don't want to drag it down. I want to push it back, but I want to soften the edge. So I want to make sure that the middle is a little darker. See what's happening over there? And I want to do the same on the other one. I want to make sure that it's really dark. And then take my brush after I clean it, and then again just gentle pushes to make sure that the edge doesn't dry so hard. So I kind of like what I see. I can always visit every petal again. But this is like the beauty of how watercolor dries. So with only water on my brush, I can push it. I don't want to make it too wet. And then let's wait for it to dry. Then I can leave it as it is, or I can do a mixture of purple and some blue and some green. To get a color that's kind of looking like that. And then touching my water, let me show you, touching my water a little bit again, I can come close to give a little shadow. So even though it looks like I'm outlining everything, I'm going to do this, touch water, and then come back immediately and move it. So it doesn't make a hard line. I'm gonna go all the way in there, do the same thing. It looks like I'm outlining, and then clean my brush, and with water I want to mess up the edge. So I want to come back. You can always drop in a color and let it move a little bit. I'm outlining. It looks like I'm outlining, and then come back and mess up the edges. Make sure you don't touch your leaves, because you may let it bleed into your background, so you don't want to do that. But go as close as you can. And then let it flow. You don't even have to go all the way. You can kind of just do one side. You don't even have to go all the way around. So again, it looks like I'm outlining. So you need to play with how much water to use and the color you like. There's not really a wrong way. I kind of like it as soft. I like this soft color. If you like it to have it more darker, of course you can do that. that will be then more paint and then less water. So I'm going to do like a diagonal line like that, more or less. So I'm just going to come in here, add more. But whatever you do, make sure that you don't just outline it. You want to go close, touching it. Sometimes it's easier if you put water down first to let it move. But if you paint with fairly a lot of water on your paintbrush, you can do it this way. And you can just drop in more paint that's needed. Gonna make over here. And with my watercolor, the brand I use, I know I can, when I'm done and everything is dry, I can go ahead and erase any pencil lines I see. You may want to just check before you do that, because you may smudge it, and that's something you don't want to do. So it depends on which brand you use. You may want to just double check. Okay, I'm gonna just smudge. And I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna go all the way up. And then for this top section, I'm gonna take my towel. I use a towel, like a little washcloth thingy. And I'm gonna position it like this. And so I don't get a lot of paint splatter. And I'm just gonna splatter. If you got some paint on your flower like I have over there, or you can just take your towel and suck it up. Make sure you frequently turn it so you don't move the you don't transfer the paint. And if you see some paint drops on yours, you can just go back with paint and blend it kind of in. Don't just use water, because you may you know, take off some of your paint. So you can just go back and add a layer of paint like that. And this is my fun hibiscus flower as well. So if your page buckle like, oh, it's a little wet. If your page buckle like mine, it goes flat when everything is dry. Okay, hope you had fun.